Hello, everyone. Welcome back to English Without Limit. I'm Julia, your host for today. If you're new here, let me tell you, we upload a new English learning video every day on this channel to help you improve your English faster. In today's episode, you will not only improve your English listening skills, but also build your confidence in speaking and understanding real-life English conversations. In this lesson, we're diving into an important and practical topic that will help you improve your English fluency and comprehension faster than ever. We'll explore everyday English conversations, daily routines, and short stories. We will go through real-life examples that help you catch natural English, understand how people really speak, and pick up useful phrases to sound fluent and confident. Whether you're talking to a friend, explaining your daily routine, or listening to an English story, these everyday sentences and vocabulary will make your English stronger and smoother. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to use common English expressions naturally, how to describe your daily life clearly, and how to build your listening and speaking skills step by step. I'll also share helpful tips to make sure you sound more fluent when you speak. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon if you want more helpful English learning episodes like this. So grab a pen and paper. Let's get started. Welcome to today's lesson. We are going to explore some of the most useful conversations and stories you can use in your daily life. These are the words and sentences you hear every day, often without realizing how important they are. Today, we will break them down clearly. We will learn how to use them naturally and why mastering them can make your English sound fluent and confident. First, think about your daily conversations. You often say things like, "Good morning, how are you?" Or, "Can I have a cup of coffee, please?" You might also describe your day by saying, "I wake up at 7 a.m. and go for a walk." These are simple sentences, but behind them are powerful phrases that help you connect ideas, express yourself clearly, and sound natural in English. In this lesson, we will not only focus on useful sentences and vocabulary, but also practice real-life examples through short conversations and stories. This will help you hear how real English works, understand native speakers more easily, and use these phrases fluently in your own speaking. So, get ready to learn clearly and confidently. Let's move on and begin today's lesson. Let's begin with something you use every single day: daily conversations. These are simple phrases and sentences that help you communicate clearly and confidently in English. If you master them, you will sound more fluent and natural in real-life situations. I'll guide you through several useful situations. Listen carefully and try to imagine using these phrases in your everyday life. Are you ready? Let's get started. First, let's talk about morning greetings. When you meet someone in the morning, you can say, "Good morning, how are you?" If you want to respond politely, you can say, "I'm good, thank you." How about you? Another way to respond is, "I'm doing well, thanks. It's a beautiful morning." You can also make a friendly comment like, "I hope you have a great day ahead," or, "It looks like it's going to be a sunny day." Next, let's talk about breakfast conversations at home. If you want to ask someone if they've eaten, say, "Have you had breakfast yet?" If the answer is no, you can reply, "Not yet. I'm about to make some coffee." If you want to describe your breakfast, try, "I had some oatmeal and fruit this morning," or "I just finished my breakfast." It was delicious. If you want to offer something, say, would you like some tea or coffee? And a polite answer is, yes, please. A cup of tea would be lovely. Now, let's move to conversations at the grocery store. If you need help, you can ask, excuse me, where can I find the bread? Another helpful question is, do you have any fresh vegetables today? When you're done shopping, you can say at the counter, I'd like to pay for these, please. If the cashier tells you the price, respond with, here you go. Thank you. Before leaving, it's nice to say, have a nice day. And they might say, you too. Take care. Let's now imagine a conversation at a park. When you meet a friend, you can say, hey, it's so nice to see you again. You can continue with, it's been a while. How have you been? To share about yourself, say, I've been busy with work, but I'm glad we met today. You can suggest, let's sit and talk for a while. Now let's learn conversations at work or school. When you arrive in the morning, you can say, good morning, how was your evening? If you want to ask a colleague or classmate about their day, say, how's your day going so far? To answer, you can say, pretty good, thanks. It's been a productive morning. If you need help, ask politely, could you help me with this task? Or, do you have a minute to discuss this project? When someone helps you, don't forget to say, thank you so much. I appreciate it. At the end of the day, you can say, have a good evening. See you tomorrow. Let's move to asking for directions. If you're on the street and want to find a place, say, excuse me, could you tell me how to get to the nearest pharmacy? Another option is there a bank around here? When someone gives you directions, say, thank you very much. That's very helpful. Let's now talk about making plans with a friend. You can suggest, would you like to grab coffee sometime this week? If she agrees, she might say, that sounds great. When are you free? You can answer, I'm free on Saturday afternoon. Does that work for you? To confirm, say, perfect. Let's meet at the cafe at 3 p.m. Another useful situation is visiting the doctor. When you enter the clinic, say, hello, I have an appointment with Dr. Smith at 10 a.m. When the doctor asks how you're feeling, you can say, I've been having a sore throat for the past few days. Or, I feel tired and have a headache. At the end of the appointment, say, thank you, doctor. I'll follow your advice. Let's cover talking on the phone. When you answer a call, say, hello, this is Victoria speaking. If you didn't hear clearly, ask, could you repeat that, please? To end the call politely, say, thank you for calling. Talk to you soon. Goodbye. Now let's talk about online conversations. When you write a message, start with, hi, how are you doing today? If you want to ask about something, type, could you share the details with me? To end a message politely, write, thanks for your help. Have a great day. Finally, let's learn how to end a face-to-face conversation politely. You can say, it was great talking to you, and add, let's catch up again soon. To close, say, take care. Bye. All of these sentences and phrases are part of real daily life. They are useful, simple, and help you communicate confidently in many different situations. The more you listen and practice, the more natural they will become. Now that you've learned these everyday conversations, let's move on to the next part of our lesson. We will now learn how to describe your daily routine clearly and confidently. Let's continue. Now that you've learned how to use English in daily conversations, it's time to move one step further. let's learn how to express your daily routine clearly and confidently. Talking about your routine is one of the easiest ways to practice fluent English. It helps you describe what you do every day, and it gives you the power to have natural small talks with friends, colleagues, or new people. I'll show you how to describe your routine from morning to night. I'll also share advanced vocabulary and useful phrases to make your speaking sound more fluent and natural. Listen carefully and try to imagine describing your own day using these phrases. Let's get started. Let's begin with how to describe your morning routine. You can start your day by saying, I usually wake up at 6 a.m. Or, I get up early in the morning around 6 o'clock. To describe what you do next, say, the first thing I do is brush my teeth. I wash my face and take a shower to feel fresh. If you drink something in the morning, say, I like to have a cup of coffee before I start my day. Or, I usually drink a glass of warm water after waking up. When it's time for breakfast, say, I make breakfast around 7 a.m. My typical breakfast includes eggs and toast, or sometimes I just grab a smoothie when I'm in a hurry. If you have to go to work or school, say, I leave home around 8 a.m. to go to work. I commute by bus, which takes about 30 minutes. Now, let's describe your work or school routine. You can begin by saying, I start work at 9 a.m. Or, my classes usually begin at 9 in the morning. To describe what you do, say, I spend most of my day attending meetings and working on projects. I check my emails and reply to important messages. I attend lectures and take notes during the lessons. If you want to describe a busy day, say, my schedule is packed with tasks today. Or, I've got a lot on my plate today. For lunch, you can say, I usually take a lunch break around 1 p.m. I like to have lunch with my colleagues. I grab a quick sandwich from the nearby cafe. Let's move on to your afternoon routine. Say, after lunch, I continue working on my assignments. I usually have some more meetings in the afternoon. I focus on finishing my tasks before the day ends. If you want to describe feeling tired, say, by late afternoon, I start to feel a bit tired. I usually have a cup of tea to refresh myself. Now let's describe your evening routine. Start by saying, I leave work around 5 p.m. and head home. My commute back takes about 40 minutes. I like to relax for a while after getting home. To describe evening activities, say, I go for a walk in the park to unwind. Sometimes I meet my friends for coffee. I usually prepare dinner around 7 p.m. When you talk about dinner, say, I like to cook something light and healthy. I often try new recipes in the evening. I have dinner with my family and we chat about our day. Let's describe your night routine now. Say, after dinner, I usually relax and watch some TV. I like to read a book before going to bed. I spend some time scrolling through social media. If you want to describe your sleeping time, say, I usually go to bed around 10 p.m. I get at least 7 hours of sleep every night. Before sleeping, I set my alarm for the next day. Now let's learn advanced vocabulary and useful phrases to describe your routine more fluently. Instead of just saying, I wake up, you can say, I rise early to start my day with energy. Or, I'm an early bird, so I enjoy quiet mornings. Instead of, I eat breakfast, say, I kick off my day with a healthy breakfast. Or, I fuel my body with a nutritious meal. Instead of, I go to work, say, I head out to the office. Or, I commute to my workplace by train. Instead of, I work, say, I handle various projects throughout the day. Or I collaborate with my team on different tasks. Instead of I relax, say, I wind down after a long day. Or I take some time to recharge and rest. Using such phrases makes your English sound richer and more natural. Finally, let's learn how to connect your sentences smoothly when describing your routine. You can use linking words like, first, I wake up at 6 a.m. Then, I take a shower and get dressed. After that, I have breakfast and check my emails. Later, I leave for work. In the evening, I relax and spend time with my family. Finally, I go to bed around 10 p.m. These simple connectors make your description clear and organized. Let's quickly put everything together and describe a full day as an example. On a typical day, I wake up around 6 a.m. First, I brush my teeth and take a shower. Then I make breakfast and enjoy a cup of coffee. After that, I leave home and commute to work. I start work at 9 a.m. and spend my day attending meetings and working on projects. Around 1 p.m., I take a lunch break and grab a sandwich. In the afternoon, I continue working until 5 p.m. Later, I return home, go for a walk, and prepare dinner. In the evening, I relax, read a book, and watch some TV. Finally, I go to bed around 10 p.m. and get ready for the next day. This is how you can clearly express your daily routine in English. The more you listen, repeat, and practice, the easier it will be to describe your day fluently and naturally. Now that you've learned how to talk about your daily routine, let's move on to the next part of our lesson. We will now explore short stories and real-life situations to practice useful phrases and vocabulary in context. Let's continue. You have now learned how to describe your daily routine confidently. It's time to take your English listening and vocabulary skills to the next level. Now we are going to practice short, simple stories that reflect real-life situations. These stories will not only give you great listening practice, but also introduce you to advanced vocabulary and useful phrases you can use in everyday life. I will narrate each story slowly and clearly. After each story, I will explain important vocabulary and phrases to make sure you fully understand them. So sit back, relax, and listen carefully. Story 1. Emily's busy morning. Emily is a young teacher who works at a local school. Every morning, she wakes up at 6 a.m. She likes to start her day early because it gives her time to prepare for her classes. First, she makes herself a cup of coffee and eats a light breakfast. Then she reviews her lesson plans for the day. After that, she quickly gets dressed and leaves for school. Today, Emily has an especially busy morning. She needs to organize a class presentation and also meet some parents. When she arrives at school, she heads straight to the staff room to print out her worksheets. During her first class, she explains a new topic to her students. She speaks clearly and patiently answers all their questions. At break time, she chats with her colleagues and takes a short walk around the school garden. By noon, she feels satisfied with her morning because everything went smoothly. She is now ready to enjoy her lunch and get some rest before her afternoon classes. Vocabulary, lesson plans, written outlines of what a teacher will teach, organize, arrange or prepare something carefully. Head straight to, go directly to a place. Worksheets, papers with exercises for students satisfied, feeling pleased with what you have done. Went smoothly, everything happened without problems. You can practice these phrases by saying, I head straight to work every morning. My meeting went smoothly yesterday. Story 2. Sarah's Weekend Adventure. Sarah is a graphic designer who loves outdoor activities. Last weekend, she decided to go hiking with her friends. On Saturday morning, they packed their backpacks with snacks, water, and first aid supplies. They drove to a nearby national park and started their hike early in the morning. The trail was long and challenging, but Sarah enjoyed the fresh air and beautiful views. As they climbed higher, the scenery became even more breathtaking. They took several breaks to rest and take photos. By afternoon, they finally reached the top of the hill. They sat down, ate their snacks, and admired the panoramic view of the surrounding mountains. It was peaceful and quiet, a perfect escape from their busy city life. After spending some time at the top, they carefully made their way back down the trail. When they returned home in the evening, Sarah felt tired but happy. She knew she had created wonderful memories with her friends. Vocabulary, backpacks, bags carried on your back, first aid supplies, items used to treat minor injuries, trail, a path for walking or hiking, breathtaking, extremely beautiful panoramic view, a wide, clear view of an area, make one's way back. Return to a place you can practice these by saying, "We hiked along a beautiful trail yesterday. I packed my backpack with all the essentials." Story 3. Olivia's job interview. Olivia is a recent college graduate who has been applying for jobs. Last week, she received a call for an interview at a marketing company. On the day of her interview, Olivia woke up early and dressed professionally. She reviewed her resume and prepared answers to common interview questions. When she arrived at the company office, she greeted the receptionist politely and waited patiently. Soon, the interviewer invited her into the room. Throughout the interview, Olivia spoke confidently and gave clear examples of her skills. She listened carefully to the interviewer's questions and responded thoughtfully. She also asked a few smart questions about the company's goals and work culture. By the end of the interview, Olivia felt confident that she had done her best. A few days later, she was thrilled to receive a job offer from the company. Vocabulary. Resume, a document that shows your education and work experience. Common interview questions. Typical questions asked in interviews. Greeted politely, said hello in a respectful way. Confidently, with self-assurance, responded thoughtfully, gave careful and considered answers. Thrilled, extremely happy or excited. You can practice saying, "I greeted the manager politely. I was thrilled to get the job." Story 4. Sophia's birthday celebration. Last month, Sophia celebrated her 25th birthday. She decided to organize a small party at her apartment with her closest friends. A few days before the party, she sent out invitations and made a shopping list. She bought decorations, snacks, and a chocolate cake from her favorite bakery. On the day of the party, Sophia decorated her living room with balloons and lights. She also prepared some homemade appetizers and set up a playlist of her favorite songs. When her friends arrived, they greeted her warmly and gave her thoughtful gifts. Everyone enjoyed delicious food, great music, and fun conversations. Later in the evening, they surprised Sophia with a birthday cake and sang happy birthday to her. She blew out the candles and made a wish. It was a joyful and memorable evening that she would always cherish. Vocabulary. Sent out invitations. Invited people by sending messages, shopping list. A list of things to buy, decorations, items used to make a place look festive, appetizers, small snacks before the main meal, playlist, a list of songs to play, cherish, to value and appreciate deeply. You can practice phrases like, "I sent out invitations for my party." I cherish the memories of that day. Now that you have listened to 4 different stories, you have heard a wide variety of useful phrases and vocabulary. These stories also showed you how to describe real-life situations clearly and confidently. To make the most of this practice, you can listen to these stories again and try to retell them in your own words, using the vocabulary we learned. You can also write short stories about your own life experiences. This will help you practice both your listening and writing skills at the same time. In the next lesson, we are going to learn powerful tips to make English listening practice more effective, and I'll show you how to build confidence when speaking English. Let's continue. You have done a great job so far. We have listened to short stories, learned useful vocabulary, and practiced describing daily routines. Now it's time for one of the most important parts of English learning. Practice conversations to build confidence. In this lesson, I will guide you through simple, clear conversations that reflect everyday situations. You will listen to how questions are asked, how answers are given, and how natural conversations flow smoothly. By listening and repeating, you will train your brain and ears to understand English faster and respond confidently. Conversation 1. Meeting someone new. Imagine you meet someone for the first time at a language class. Let's listen to how a natural conversation flows. "Hi, my name is Emma," I said, and I asked, "What's your name?" She smiled and said, "I'm Olivia." "Nice to meet you." I replied, "Nice to meet you too, Olivia." "Are you from around here?" She nodded and said, "Yes, I live nearby, just a few streets away." Then she asked, "What about you?" I told her, "I'm from the other side of town. I came here to improve my English." She said, "That's great. I'm also here to practice English." So I asked, "How long have you been learning?" She answered, "I started about a year ago. It's been an interesting journey." I smiled and said, "Yes, it really is. Maybe we can practice together sometime." And she replied, "That sounds like a good idea." Let's highlight some useful phrases you heard. Nice to meet you. A polite phrase used when meeting someone. Are you from around here? Asking about someone's location. What about you? Returning the same question. It's been an interesting journey. Describing a learning experience. That sounds like a good idea. A polite way to agree. Practice saying these aloud to get comfortable using them in real conversations. Conversation 2. At a coffee shop. Let's move to another situation. Ordering something at a coffee shop. Natasha greeted me. "Good morning." "What can I get for you today?" I replied, "Good morning. I'd like a medium latte, please." She asked, "Would you like any sugar or milk with that?" I said, "No sugar, but a little extra milk, please." She nodded. "Sure." "Anything else?" I told her, "Yes, I'll take a blueberry muffin as well." She smiled and said, "All right, that will be $5.50. I handed her the money. "Here you go. Thank you." She thanked me. "Thank you. Your order will be ready shortly." I replied, "Thanks." Now let's look at some practical phrases. I'd like. A polite way to order something. Anything else? Asking if the customer wants more. Here you go. A polite way of giving something. Your order will be ready shortly. Commonly used in cafes and restaurants. Practice these to feel more natural and confident when ordering food or drinks. Conversation. 3. Talking about hobbies. Now, let's listen to a conversation about hobbies. I asked, "Do you have any hobbies?" Emma replied, "Yes, I enjoy painting in my free time." "How about you?" I said, I like reading books and going for walks. What do you usually paint? I asked. Emma answered, I like to paint landscapes and sometimes portraits. I said, that sounds interesting. How long have you been painting? Emma responded, I've been painting since I was in high school. It helps me relax. I replied, that's wonderful. I'd love to see your painting someday. Emma said, sure, I can show you some pictures next time. Useful phrases here are, do you have any hobbies? Asking about interests. How about you? Returning the question. That sounds interesting. Showing polite interest. I'd love to see. Expressing interest. These are great for friendly conversations when getting to know someone. Conversation 4. Asking for help. Let's practice a situation where you need to ask for help politely. I asked, excuse me, could you help me with something? The stranger replied, of course. What do you need? I said, I'm looking for the nearest bus stop. Do you know where it is? The stranger answered, yes, it's just around the corner. Walk straight and you'll see it on your right. I thanked them. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. The stranger responded, you're welcome. Have a nice day. I replied, you too. Key phrases here are, excuse me, could you help me? A polite way to ask for help. Do you know where it is? Used for asking directions. I really appreciate it. Expressing gratitude. You're welcome. A polite response to thank you. Practicing these phrases helps build confidence when you're in public and need assistance. Now that you have listened to these practice conversations, let's discuss how to make the most of them. Listen carefully and repeat the sentences out loud. Pause the video and practice saying the full conversation by yourself. Record your voice to check your pronunciation and fluency. Write your own conversations using the same patterns and phrases. Practice daily. Even 5 minutes a day makes a big difference. The more you listen, repeat, and use these phrases, the more natural your English speaking will become. Confidence grows with practice, and you're already doing a fantastic job by learning step by step. Now, we will discover powerful techniques to improve English listening skills faster, and I will show you how to stay motivated on your English learning journey. Let's continue. We've reached the final part of today's lesson. You've made great progress in understanding common phrases and building your English vocabulary. Now, let's talk about some final tips to keep improving your English listening skills and how to create a daily listening routine that will keep you on track to fluency. Tip 1. Consistency is key. One of the most important aspects of learning a language is consistency. Make listening to English a part of your daily routine. Even if you only listen for 10 to 15 minutes each day, you'll notice a significant improvement over time. Start your day by listening to short conversations, like the ones we practiced today. This helps your brain get used to the natural flow of English and improves your ability to understand native speakers. Tip 2. Practice active listening. When you listen to a conversation or podcast, give it your full attention. Try to understand every word and the speaker's intonation. Ask yourself, what is the speaker trying to communicate? What's their tone? Are they excited, sad, curious? By actively engaging with what you hear, you'll improve your listening and your speaking much faster. Tip 3. Use resources that match your level. You don't have to start with advanced material right away. Use resources that match your current level and gradually increase the difficulty. Listening to content that's too difficult can be discouraging. Start simple, like today's conversations. Then move on to interviews, podcasts, or news reports as your confidence grows. Tip 4. Repeat and imitate. Repetition is powerful. Listen to the same audio more than once. Each time, you'll notice something new. Pay attention to how words are pronounced. Then imitate the speaker's rhythm, tone, and expression. This will help you sound more natural and boost your fluency. Tip 5. Stay motivated and have fun. Learning English doesn't have to feel like a chore. Find things you enjoy. Watching TV shows, listening to music, or reading stories in English. When learning is fun, you're much more likely to stick with it and make faster progress. Here's a simple daily listening routine you can follow. Morning. Listen to a short conversation or news clip for 5 to 10 minutes. Afternoon. Play a podcast or audiobook while commuting or doing chores. Evening. Listen to a dialogue in English and repeat the phrases aloud. Remember, the goal is to listen actively and practice daily. Even just 10 to 15 minutes a day is enough to make steady progress. Over time, you'll become more comfortable with English, and your confidence will grow. You've made amazing progress today, and I hope these tips and exercises have inspired you to keep learning and improving your English listening skills. By practicing every day and staying motivated, you will continue to get better and better. English fluency doesn't happen overnight, but with consistent effort. It's absolutely within your reach. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you found this lesson helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. And don't forget to click the bell icon so you never miss a new lesson. Keep practicing, keep listening, and most importantly, keep enjoying your English learning journey.